Hello, welcome back. This is episode 10 of Squashwarp missions. I've made it to 10. And I'm Luke, and today, well, we've got a lot going on at the Space Center. Boy, I've been doing a lot that I haven't recorded just because there's lots of building to do. So, we're researching actuators, tech. That's fine. That's because we have an asteroid intercept coming up, actually, and we need to be able to grab onto it. We're not going to move the thing, but we can at least grab onto it. Experiment with that technology. Meanwhile, we're building a probe to go to Eve. We've got a tanker that we're going to send out to rescue the poor Kerbals out at Minmus that didn't actually get enough fuel to get out there. In fact, let me make sure that the timing on that works. The Minmus crew transfer is in 90 days, so 32 plus 20 is less than 90, so we're good. And then we got 2 Griffin Mark 1B capsules going up to the various space stations. Hopefully by then we'll have enough money to hire some more Kerbals, because right now we can't afford anything. Our money is down to 35,000 because all of these spacecraft are so expensive. So we're going to launch the lab module up to the space station first. And that's going to extend the habitation time on the Manticore Kerbin space station. So let's go. And I've been fiddling with the sound settings. So I have this mod, the Rocket Sound Enhancement mod, and I've been fiddling with the settings. And hopefully it's going to sound better in the recording now. I really like the sound mod. Ooh, lightning. I really like the sound mod. I think that it didn't record so well, so I messed with the settings so that it would sound better in the recording. Here we go. Launch. And we got lightning in the background. Lightning and thunder. Whoa! Beautiful. Beautiful sky. Beautiful clouds. Every time I load back into this game, I'm like, gosh, I forgot how pretty it was. And there's the storm over yonder. I cannot get this rocket to turn over. Come on. Come on, bank. Come on. Let's turn orbit prograde. That'll get us pulled down a little bit. It's just the continuing saga of not getting my rockets to lean over. And we're going to go up to 80 or 90 kilometers and then circularize, and then we'll plan an intercept. So let's time accelerate. Okay. Warp. Deploy the fairing. There we go. Extend the solar panels. Good. 30 seconds to apoapse. Look, you can even see the lightning down there in little flashes. All right. Circularizing. Okay, good enough. Now, let's plot this rendezvous quickly. Let's go to the descending node. Descending node. Warp here. To get our inclination correct. Orbit. We want it ascend. So let's rotate this way. Come on. There we go. Wasn't pointed the right way. Come on. Get pointed normal. There we go. Alright, that's close enough. And now let's see when our intercept is going to be. We actually need to do it now, or we're going to have a problem. So let's delete that and point prograde. Because we already are catching up on the space station. So when we're in a lower orbit, we orbit faster. Do we not have RCS on this thing? We might not. Yeah, we don't. Thrust limit down. And 7, 6, 7, 8. Okay. We'll just fix that real quick. All right. Let's warp here. Turn target retrograde when we get there. Just trying to step through these orbital rendezvous as quickly as possible. And coming in. "10 kilometers away. Okay, we're 5 kilometers away. Coming in at 96 meters per second. Let's push our retrograde marker onto the target retrograde marker. There we go. And I can't believe how beautiful this game is. And now the station has loaded. And reduce our closing velocity and change our vector to point towards it. We don't want to come in too fast. This is good enough. There we go. 0.1 meters per second. Save that. And now let's undock. SAS disengaged. This has no control. Now, this doesn't have any RCS either. But we can point orbit retrograde. We might bump our friend here, but that's okay. Yeah, bump him. That's all right. And now that we're pointed a different direction, let's throttle up. Good. Switch. And that thing is leaving. Let's undock. And go to the space tug. Whoops, nope. Go to the space tug. Nope. There, this one. Control from here. Dock to that. Is it still rotating? That's an interesting question. Whoa, we're very maneuverable. Let's put on fine control. What is happening? Oh, I don't have I don't have SAS on. That's why. It's like, why are we spinning? Okay. Let's keep an eye on electric charge and monopropellant. This thing dies. We don't have any solar panels on this. I was trying to minimize parts. So if we run out of electric charge, we're dead in space and we have to go get rescued. Okay. And just to make it easier, let's go into locked camera so that we can see what we're doing. Catching up. Now I'm realizing that this isn't going to quite work. All right. Docking the lab module this way isn't actually going to solve the problem that we have. But I can at least bring it closer and then we can figure out another resolution. Because I like the idea that the Kerbals have to be able to climb from one part to another. And I don't believe, like, I don't see how they climb through the space tug. The space tug is just a fuel tank. So by docking on the end here, we're giving ourselves control, but we're also not going to be able to control from here. We're also not going to be able to get into the lab, so that's an issue. So we're going to have to maneuver the entire space station. And translating with this craft is going to be hard because we don't have balanced reaction control thrusters. Also, I can't seem to do this at all. Oh, because, again, SAS isn't turned on. Okay. And fine control was on. That was also my problem. Okay. Okay. Coming in for a docking gradually. Then we're going to have to adjust. Hang on. I've changed my mind. We need to fold in the solar panels and we need to set this as the target. Which means I need to roll down like this. Yep, just like that. The other problem is that the messed up craft, the one where the attachment node is wrong, is holding up 2 docking ports because it's attached on one side, but it's actually existing on the other side. Doing pretty well for ourselves considering the RCS is so unbalanced. Okay. That was pretty good, but now we have to undock here. Control from here. Set this as target. And roll don't even know which way. Let's make sure we're in locked cam so I can tell what it is I'm doing. So I need to turn this way. We might bump it if we're not careful. Okay, so far so good. I hope this isn't too boring. Space station rearrangement. And this way. Gotta get aligned first, and then translate. Okay. That was okay, but we didn't get properly rotated. Undock. Control from here. Set as target. Back away. And get rotated again. There we go. Rotate correctly, please. I bounced off of it. Hang on. It's rolling. I gotta stabilize it. Come on. Abort. Let's get aligned. Okay. Whew. Difficult. And all that being said, can I rotate these? No. Talking acquire force, rotation locked, yes. Oh, I can just do that. So I can rotate them. From now on, let's know that we can rotate these docking ports and I don't have to do silly things like that. Okay. Well, we used up a decent chunk of our monopropellant, but that's okay. Let's make sure to transfer into... Whoops, wrong one. Transfer in here. The other thing I've been thinking about doing is transferring this fuel into this spacecraft. Like that. So let's quick save that. Let's aim camera here. Because we want to free up this rear docking node. We've also got some monopropellant. So let's go in. And this one, monopropellant in. And since we have monopropellant, oh wait, it has monopropellant, but it doesn't have RCS thrusters. So let's get all the monopropellant out because there's no reason to keep it. In. And in. All right. Undock. All right. And let's point. Oh, we're going to bump. Whoops. Sorry, space station. We've been bumping things a lot today. We're going to point orbit retrograde and full power. There we go. And let's just follow this into re-entry. We had another one that was re-entering as well, so we're going to have to switch to that one, because we got to watch them. Let's see if it survives re-entry. Cleaning up the space station area. Pretty. See, I just want to watch the effects. We might overheat. Nope. Engine's fine. We're going to land on land or in the ocean? I can't tell because it's just dark. I think this is ocean. Yeah, this is ocean. Good, that's where we want it to be. Deorbited safely into the ocean. I should probably check, but I can't really see. Oh. The tank survived. Let's recover. No, don't revert. Let's go to the tracking station. We've also got this craft, which we need to fly. It's already passed through the atmosphere once while it wasn't loaded, which means craft that aren't loaded don't respect the atmosphere. They just pass through it as if it didn't exist. Let's turn surface retrograde if we can. Do we have any power? Yeah, our electric charge is running out. Let's just turn that off and re-enter however we're going to re-enter. Fascinating. We're going to spin. I wonder why we're spinning. This is going to make me dizzy. Let's look at the map view for a second. And there goes electric charge. Oh well. Alright, we're spinning less quickly now. That's good. I wonder why we're spinning. I find that odd. We're time accelerating as fast as we can. I wonder what's asymmetrical about this craft that's making it do this. Looks like we're going to end up in the ocean. Or maybe we're going to hit the Space Center. That's always a possibility. Or we might just explode in the atmosphere at this rate. Yeesh. Or... oh, that's cool. We're making a cool pattern in our trail back there. There we go. Now we've settled on engine first like I imagined that we would. And we are going to land on the ground, so hopefully no Kerbal dens are nearby. I think the Kerbals live underground. I think that's why we can't see their civilization. I think they're burrowing people. but this is going to be a big kerpowie. Oh, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We're going to hit this tree? Yes. Alright, let's go back to the tracking station. Alright. Manticore Station. Fly. We need to actually activate the lab and the cupola to increase the habitability. Let's point prograde. Let's start habitat. And I need to look up what the converter does, because I don't actually know. I don't know what we're converting. Okay. And then this one, start life support. Now where are we at? Now we are ready to stay out for another 144 days, and we have 191 days of supplies because we're recycling. So we can set a new alarm. Everybody's very happy with their new accommodations. What was it, 144? 144. So let's add crew rotation in 120 days. Add alarm. They can stay out here quite a while. Good job, everybody. All right, save. That was hard work, but it was good. Meanwhile, we can make sure that we're transferring supplies into the station rather than in the spacecraft, because if the spacecraft does need to go home, we want to make sure to leave the supplies at the space station. Let's time accelerate through that. Okay, good. Get us rolled the correct way. That's good. All right. And there we are. I think we can rotate this, and that will help. There we go. It was about 5 degrees. And now it's aligned properly. Look at that. That's so high tech. All right, what are we doing next? Urban Eve went by. I hope the Quasit Moonlander is okay. Yeah, I think we flew that. We have actuators complete in 9 days, and then we're doing our Eve launch. All right, well, let's go back to the Space Center and see what's happening. Because we delivered the lab to the space station, we've freed up a contract slot, so let's orbit Ike. Okay, here we are out at Duna. I don't know what these lines mean. Add a maneuver at perigee. Periaps. Perigee is specific to the Earth, as geo. Focus on Ike. Let's get a nice low pass. That's actually as low as it goes, and that's perfect. Can we... That's fine. All right. We're getting solar power, so let's just warp until it's time to do the maneuver. Let's keep track of our electric charge. We've got 481 meters per second. So with that, we need to be a little bit judicious. That should be okay. Let's warp here. Well, let's make sure we're getting solar power, though. Hang on. Okay. Yeah, we are. Okay, good. Let's warp here. Because we gotta go around at least once. Before Ike comes back around and then we get our intercept. Cool. Let's add another maneuver at Parallax and see if we can't. Yeah, there we go. Now we can get a closer approach. That's good. Just fly that real quick. Second pass around Duna. I feel like I said Moho at one point. If I did, I'm sorry. There we go. Nice low pass. And let's just warp. Let's make sure we got solar power. I always got to remember this. Let's warp here. 320 meters per second. I think I don't want to stay in orbit of Ike. I think I want to go back to orbit of Duna when this is over. But I do need to get into orbit of Ike in order to not get thrown out of the sphere of influence. So let's get capture into an orbit like that. That's good. Let's do that. Maybe we'll get to see those red things. I don't know if we're getting low enough. Yeah, we might not be getting low enough to see the surface features of Ike in the daytime, but they're very cool. What I got to see of them from space was really neat. And we've entered orbit of Ike, and we've completed that contract. All of them say, huzzah, there is no such thing as the final frontier, because it's a mod, and they didn't write a unique thing for every single contract. Okay. So that's that. Quick save that. Look, there's one. What's our altitude? 10? I want to reduce our periaps to... I'm afraid to go lower than 10 kilometers. But with a quick save, I'll go to 9. All right. And we've done all of our science out here, right? I think these have been done. Yeah. Let's warp here. Where is it? Here it is. Again, let's make sure we have sunlight. Let's change the camera mode so we can see better. So here's Ike with the Parallax Continued Mod. Yep, there they are. I feel like we might be encountering a mountain. If we do that, I'm going to reload because there's no way for me to know. Oh, yeah, we are. Okay, yep, we're definitely encountering a mountain. Let's see if we can save this. I'll reload if not. There we go. Should be okay now. But yeah, look at those structures. They look enormous. We could probably land on Ike, but there's some kind of red rock. Oh yeah, those are massive. Oops. Okay, we averted a crisis. That's awesome. And good to know that Ike has very large mountains. Well, cool. Let's get pointed for the sun again. Let's warp to Apo. Yep. Warp to Apo. Thank you. And let's lift our periaps a bit, because that's dangerous. Let's go to like 13. There we go. That should be fine. And whoops. Thrust limit back up. Where's the sun? Let me get in back in orbital camera auto. And we are behind Ike, so that's why we have no reception right now. It's not, or no solar power right now. Okay. So now let's return to Duna. A little more. There we go. Periaps 54. I think the... Well, you know what? It will tell me. Atmosphere height 50. So as long as we're above 50, we are fine. Let's do that maneuver. Coming up over Ike again, but not so close this time. Are we gonna... What? Is that really when we're doing the burn? I guess it is. Okay. I thought we were doing it at periaps. I guess I moved it without noticing. All right. Close. And it's just a 1 second burn. Now I want to be in orbit of Duna because I want to function as a relay satellite in case our lander needs it. So let's add a maneuver here to reduce our orbital altitude to more like that, just to make sure we don't recapture it at Ike. Solar power. Whoops, add that alarm. And we're going to point orbit retrograde when we get there. Dust storms all over. Can you see that massive dust storm on Duna? That's quite something. You can see it moving across. Whoa, that's not how it's supposed to look. I think it's because I'm time accelerating. But that's a massive dust storm. Delete on close. Yeah, look at that. That's amazing. We're going to have to be prepared for those dust storms when we send missions there. Dust storms can cover solar panels and prevent solar panel recharge, as well as... we lost connection. That's okay. Can't delete the maneuver node until we get connection back. That's okay. That was pretty. Okay. Rotate. Delete that. And we're in a good maneuver. Oh, there's an eclipse. You see Ike casting a shadow all over Duna. We're going to have to get used to those eclipses as well. Ike's going to pass over, and we're going to lose electric charge on our surface bases unless we're at a higher latitude. Fascinating. Well, we're learning lots of things out here. Let's see what's next. Oh, our Moho probe got signal back. I was sitting out here waiting to see if it was going to, and sure enough, it did. So we can actually transmit this science. Just make sure that we're pointed such that our solar panels will replenish. And let's see if we have enough batteries to transmit this. Review data. 42 science. Send that. No. Oh, we did it. Just barely. Okay. Recharge. Okay. Review data and transmit. And then we can do the next one. Review data and transmit. Let's get our charge back. And then we have one thermometer. And one of the whatever that one is. Okay. And we didn't have a magnetometer invented yet, so that's everything. All right, well, we finally got our Moho science back, and we got the contract finished, and got some rewards for doing a milestone. So that's good. All right, let's see what's next. Okay, so this is the rocket we spent all our money on. This is the evening probe. It's going to Eve, obviously. And it's time for our transfer window. This is so expensive that if anything about this fails, it's an absolute reload, because otherwise we are broke. So here we go. Hopefully my staging is correct. It's kind of complicated staging. Let's go. Alright, booster separated. Gravity turn is commencing. Our angle is a little off. I want to be at 90 degrees if I can. I don't know what Eve's inclination relative to us is, so I can't really get that right necessarily. This gravity turn is actually kind of working. I don't want to jinx it, but, like, you know, that's amazing that we're finally getting that. Okay. Whew. So far, so good. Now, are we going to have enough thrust on the second stage? Well, we'll find out. Or are we going too shallow out of the atmosphere? Alright, apoapse is increasing. Time to apoapse is increasing, as well as apoapse height. Let's to make sure we stay in surface mode when this automatically switches over. Yeah, we're launching into a slight inclination, but I think that's okay. Alright. Separate. And engage. Alright, let's see how quickly we can get into orbit. Okay. There's the probe. Time to apoapse is slightly increasing. I don't think we're going to be able to recover that first stage, unfortunately. Let's go up to 100 kilometers. Apoapse is in 7 minutes. Can we switch to this? Cannot switch vessels while in the atmosphere. Okay. So I think we're going to lose that first stage. Oh, we're about to leave the atmosphere, though. All right. Switch to. It's probably going to burn up now. We're trying to recover our first stages because the mainsail engine is so expensive. So I fitted it with a bunch of parachutes. Okay, we survived re-entry. We have to land within 7 minutes so that we can perform our circularization burn on the other rocket. So that went pretty well, actually. And we can deploy our drogue chutes. There we go. Just need to not run out of batteries. Yep, there we go. Deploy the other parachutes. And there we go. Full deploy. Now, in real life, if you used parachutes to land a rocket stage, it would not be very worthwhile because you have to clean... Like, the salt water gets on all of the components of the engine, and that makes it not so recoverable. But as it is here, assuming we survive splashdown, and survive tipping over, we should be able to recover. Yep. Okay, we survived. Recover vessel. 21,000 funds from recovered parts, so that's not nothing, that helps. May not be worth the effort, but now let's go to our spacecraft and make sure it actually circularizes. We have so many craft. Evening probe is almost at apoapse. That was close. 3.5 minutes, plenty of time. And maneuver at Apo. Just circularize at about 100 kilometers, because this time when we burn, we want to make sure we don't end up in the atmosphere like we almost did that other time. And deploy the solar panels. So here's our Eve probe. We've got a orbiter, 2 landers, and a transfer stage. And let's just warp until it's almost time for the... Oh, we passed it. This is why I use alarms. $94 by $99. Close enough. Okay. Now, I'm going to sneeze, And then we're gonna plot Eve. So I'll be back in a minute. Already got an encounter. That was much easier than usual. All right, let's make an alarm this time so I don't just miss it. Sunrise, sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset. Ooh, lightning. You see the lightning down on Kerbin? Just watch Kerbin, there'll be more lightning. I have to watch my timers, but you can watch Kerbin and see if there's lightning. Second, 10 seconds. Alright, it's a 2-minute burn. Let's see if we can time accelerate. Yep. I love that the spacecraft are no longer jello when you time accelerate while under thrust. That's amazing. Makes these interplanetary transfer burns a lot less boring. Because you can just do it 3 times faster. Although we are starting to drift off our marker, so let me fix that. And we're going to have to adjust this when we actually complete the burn. I like the way the probe looks. It's got literally all of the science experiments we know. 3, 2, 1. Delete. Little extra thrust, and there it is. Let's focus on Eve. There we go. And let's create a don't warp there, that'd be crazy. Correction burn. This is just gonna go down a little bit. And we want a polar orbit of Eve because we have a bunch of mapping experiments. So I'm going to edit it this way so that I can see what I'm doing. So that's polar. What is Eve's atmosphere? 90 kilometers. As long as we're above 90. That looks pretty polar. Eve periaps. We want to bring it down to like 100. $105. That seems safe. So that'll be our correction burn. Let's add for maneuver and add for sphere of influence, leaving Kerbin. Make sure that we can see the sun. Yep, we're looking right at it. Oh, and we need to do a temperature scan from the space around Kerbin because we have a contract to do that. So log temperature and send it back, and then we'll get credit. We apparently completed our multispectral and low-resolution ScanSat surveys of Minmus. And we've received the data from Kerbin. Cool. What is next? We're building the tanker. But you know what? We could land on Minmus. So let's just warp 2 days to get out of the sphere of influence, and then let's jump over to Minmus, because we are actually ready to land on Minmus. Okay, this is our Dryad station in orbit of Minmus. We are going to land on Minmus. First, I think I'm supposed to do a materials study while docked to Dryad station. And then let me try transmitting it and see if that does what the contract wanted. What was the contract? Oh, and return it to Kerbin. Okay, well, clean experiments. Didn't realize we had to return it to Kerbin. Just waiting for it to clean the experiment. Would have been faster to get out with a Kerbal at this point. Okay, now let's perform it again. Conduct the materials study. Keep the experiment. And Valentina, can you do me a favor? Where are you? Transfer here. EVA if you can. Collect data. And then grab store experiments there. And then you can go get back in your cupola. Grab and board. And then we'll eventually bring it back to Kerbin. Which reminds me that we can just basically do all of these science experiments. Observe mystery goo. Turn that into data. That won't work. Log pressure data, turn that into data. Log temperature, turn that into data. So now we have 134 out of 750 data. So we can process that into science. And we're processing, we're almost doing 2 science per day from the lab. We have 91 out of 500 science. So let's just transmit the science now. We're running out of electric charge very quickly here. Good. Let's conduct the materials study. And turn that into science. Or turn that into data. And then we'll clean all the experiments. 200 out of 750 data. Good. Alright. Save. Let's make sure we get our electric charge back. It's going to take us a minute. And then it's going to run down in the night. Oh, we don't have to worry about the night. Oh, here it is. Wait, what? Why did it start going down again? Oh, because we're pointed such a way that our solar panels are not, they're blocking each other. We need both solar panels to be receiving light. Okay. Takes a lot of electric charge to run that laboratory. Now, let's think about where we want to land. I think here would be a good spot. Which way are we going? That way. So, Bob. Where are you, Bob? You're in the lab. Bob, let's transfer to the lander. Let's make sure that the lander is full of monopropellant. Good. And let's undock. Okay. Deploy the solar panels. Okay, that didn't work. Extend the solar panels manually. Good. And now we should be safely drifting away from the space station. Let's warp here and turn orbit retrograde. We're going to land on Minmus, everybody. Alright, activate the engines. And give us a little bit of thrust. I didn't see any thrust. What? Why do we have no throttle control? Oh, I must have put the thrust limiter down in the VAB to do some calculating. There we go. That was weird. So we're bringing our periaps down, but not too low. As long as we don't hit those mountains, it's fine that we hit those. That's kind of close. Let's undo some of that. Let's make sure we're not going to hit on the way down. Okay. Alright, and we'll warp here. And we'll point surface retrograde. Well, let's do orbit retrograde first. Alright. Deploy the landing gear. What a great cockpit. This is fantastic. Alright, okay, looks like we're gonna crash into that surface right there. Let's see about redirecting our orbit. Which way am I facing? The wrong way. Let's redirect my orbit so that we're going to those flats. And then reduce our orbital velocity to bring us down over those flats in a bit. I think we're still going to need... Minmus is going to rotate, so we need a little bit more that way. All right. We can afford to do big maneuvers like that because we've got a lot of delta V. This is designed to be capable of landing on the moon, so we can reuse it, which means that it's completely overpowered for Minmus. Now, are we going to hit this mountain? We're down to physical time acceleration because it won't let us warp normally this low to the ground. All right. In space near Minmus's lowlands, we want to wait until we're near Minmus's flats of some kind. This is a big flat. Greater flats. Why don't I have... There we go. It's like, why are the engines not working? Good. Looks like a frozen lake. I'm not doing a very efficient, like... We could do a more efficient landing if I was trying to worry about fuel, but... I'm just not worried about fuel. And there we are. First landing on Minmus. Quick save. Let's run all of this science. All right. So how was I going to do this? I was going to transmit everything. No, I don't want to transmit yet. No, yeah, we don't want to transmit yet. We want to keep everything. Yep. And then we'll get out. We'll do a surface sample and an EVA report. We'll board. And then we're going to collect all experiments. So there's 8 experiments sitting in the return sample. Now he's going to get out. And jump. Whee! Okay. Gonna land. Look, you can see the reflection of the landscape. Parallax is amazing. Look at this surface. Surface sample. Keep. Oh, I want to see what it said. Review sample. The surface seems to consist of tiny crystal-like grains. What did I just press? Keep experiment. I don't know what I just pressed. Let's plant a flag. And let's... this is going to be the greater flats. Okay. Gotta take my screenshots. And now you've got to climb. Climb. You always got to climb the flag. Okay. What an odd angle. There we go. All right. All right. Restore. Restore. Log seismic data. Keep. Log pressure data. Keep. Oh, we gotta take it. Take. Take. And can you reach the thermometer? Log temperature. And take data. Keep. Okay, those are all the experiments. Oh, do we have a magnetometer? We did not bring a magnetometer on this spacecraft. Oop, sun has gone down. Let's keep that in mind. And do an EVA report. Keep. Now we gotta go. Whoa! That was close. I don't want to break these solar panels. Store experiments. Oops, I banged his head. Why is there only 5? 1, 2, 3. Oh, we gotta conduct a materials study. Keep. Collect. Observe mystery goo. The goo starts to bounce slowly from top to bottom. Collect. And then we can restore these. Restore. Can you reach this? No. Well, let's board. Collect all data. It's got 8. It's got 7. Which one is it missing? Review stored data. It's got an EVA report, materials study, pressure scan, mystery goo, temperature scan, seismic scan, surface sample. It's missing an EVA report. EVA. Do an EVA report. Keep. Board. Collect all. There. Oh, well. We're just handing one back and forth. I don't understand. Anyway, now we can do material study, seismic scan, and mystery goo. We're taking multiple samples. I won't make you watch this every time, by the way. And we can get pressure and temperature. Good. And now let's fold in the solar panels so that we don't break them. EVA, surface sample, EVA report, keep, collect data, restore, collect, restore, take, take, take. Alright, so ends our surface operations on Minmus. Board. Board anyway. Let's do a crew report. Keep experiment. Collect all. Can't collect anymore. Collect all. Crew report. Keep experiment. Good. Now we should have 8 experiments in each one. For some reason we don't have this one. Which one are we missing? Crew report. Oh, I see. All we have to do is take it and board. And now we have 8. So we have 8 in each. So that's what we wanted. Now we're going to launch south. Let's get our panels back. I'm going to get a high enough apoapse that we're not going to hit the mountains on the way out. Good. That was not very efficient, but I don't care. And then we can turn orbit prograde and warp until we... can I warp now? There we go. Till we get close to our apoapse. Come on. There we go. 4 minutes. There's our target. That's what we gotta chase down. Okay. Ascending node. No, we want to be in orbit. And if we're ascending, we want to point this way, I think. Let's warp here and see if that's the correct direction. I'm not in any kind of, like, I don't feel the need to, like, prove that I can rendezvous with the spacecraft in a particular fast way. Like, it doesn't really matter. First, we're going to correct the inclination. Let's test with RCS first. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Now we want to point retrograde and go to the periapse. Because we're accidentally going faster than our target instead of slower. But part of the problem is that our space station has a pretty low orbit. It might be easier to get to the space station if its orbit was a bit higher. I think that's a safe altitude. Yeah, so far so good. Add a maneuver here. Whoops. 0. 0. I just want to move it. Give me the... There we go. What happened? And here we go. I feel like maybe I should start cutting out orbital rendezvous. I mean, they're a lot of fun to do. I don't know that I have much to say about them is the problem, you know? Why is that my maneuver node? That doesn't seem right to me. Let's point prograde. Well, who knows what went wrong there, but that's fine. That's target position at intersect 1. Let's just add a maneuver at the next intersect that matches orbits. No, Don't do that. Matches orbits. No, too much. There we go. We're only 5 kilometers away. We could just go towards it. Let's just go towards it. Target. Let's just point at the target and go towards it. There we go. Like, I'm making things too complicated trying to make them hyper efficient when I've got, like, so much fuel. Control from here. Okay. Came in a little fast. All right. Let's retract the solar panels again. And rotate. Rotate this way. Okay. Okay. And a quick docking maneuver. Caps lock for fine control. And just drift on in. Good. Now we could do more landings, but we're already short on fuel as it is. So that's the only one we can afford. Let's deal with our science situation. So, save. First, we review stored data here. We're going to transmit all of this back to Kerbin to get us science faster. So transmit, 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 and transmit. So that's one batch of data just transmitted. Then we're going to take this data and store it in there. That's going to be returned to Kerbin, or to the space station in orbit of Kerbin if we really want to be cheaty and get lots of science. And then this one, we take that set of data and we bring it into the lab. Actually, we didn't have to do that step. That doesn't matter, actually. But we do get into the lab and board the lab. And we've got 209 out of 750 research. Let's review data. We want to make sure that we don't go past 750. Research, 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 research. That will go past it. Keep that. 150, that will go past it. There we go. That math didn't quite work out right, but... Whoops. What did I press? Okay. Keep, and we'll research those later. Okay. So we should have a good haul of science come in. Yeah, 442. Let's go look and see if there's anything I want to do. Meanwhile, we have walked on the surface of Minmus and planted a flag there. Hooray! Okay, back at the Space Center, we have money again because we got all those science rewards. I should say that my difficulty settings are such that I get 60% science rewards, which is going to make the tech tree take longer. But I gave myself 110% funds rewards from contracts. So that's helping me not be too worried about money. We need to upgrade the astronaut complex, otherwise we won't be able to send any more Kerbals to space. Well, wait, hang on a second. No, that's not true. How many Kerbals do we have? Assign 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I could have it just says that right there, oh my god. And it says this right here too. Okay, so I can actually have 2 more crews of 3. Okay, so never mind. We don't need to upgrade the astronaut complex. We could instead upgrade the launch pad, and then we could launch larger spacecraft. Let's do that. Yes. All right, let's see that happen. Several days later, construction is about to complete. On the new launch pad, we now have no limit on the size and weight of our launch craft. We're getting there. We're slowly upgrading. All right, we're going to launch the tanker. This is the new design tanker. Hopefully this flies better than the last one, which went to space, came back, and then went back to space. Hopefully this will fly better than that one and be able to get us some fuel out to our Minmus crew. Okay, here we go. Here's the Tanker 2 craft. Hopefully this flies as I expect it to. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Ascending. Booster separation. Let's take a look at the clouds as we pass through. Very nice. This ascent profile is better. I think I finally might have gotten it right. Don't jinx it though. Yeah. There we go, passing 45 at 10 kilometers, finally! Hooray! Beautiful storm clouds in the distance. Time to apoapse is increasing. I'm still going to try to recover the bottom stage. So let's see if we can get our time to apoapse to be higher. Or if we can just get closer to orbital velocities in time. Took us about 4 minutes to re-enter last time, so we've got to be careful. Alright, throttle down, detach, throttle up. Didn't want to destroy the other spacecraft. Let's do surface so that our time to apoapse goes up faster. This is a much more efficient launch, though. We'll go out to 90 kilometers. Alright, deployed the fairings. I don't think I have time to switch back. I think that I have to finish flying this, get this into orbit, and then see if we switch back. So we may lose that stage. But the other thing we can do is try to circularize now. So let's point a little bit downward to keep our apoapse from going up too much. Burn radial in. Apoapse still increasing. Apoapse decreasing. We don't want to burn this far off our heading, though. It's wasting a lot of fuel, and the whole point of this mission is to get fuel out to Minmus. Parallax about to leave the atmosphere. Okay, stable orbit. Whoops, I need to switch. Oh, it got deleted. Okay, we weren't fast enough. Okay, so no extra money for us. Burnt inefficiently for no reason. That's okay, we still have a lot of Delta V. Let's just go to Minmus now then. Set as target. Let's not encounter the moon. Alright, I'll make this maneuver node and then we'll fly it. Maneuver node made. Warping. Now we have to watch our electric charge here. Because we only have little solar panels on the nose of the spacecraft. Looks like we're going to the moon, but that is not where we're going. I double-checked. We're just a big fuel tank flying out to Minmus to help poor space station. But we're burning a lot of our own fuel to get out there, so the goal is to end up with enough fuel for the space station, the Dryad transfer vehicle, to return to Kerbin. But we won't know about our success until we try it. Right, see you in a sec. Okay, maneuver made. Point towards it also has the added benefit of pointing us such that the solar panels will get reception. Did I make the alarm? Yes. Here we go. All right, and then we're going to warp to this edge of the sphere of influence change, and I'll do a further correction burn there. Okay. So we need to arrive underneath the planet, or, you know, the moon, the body. So as to get into the right inclination to rendezvous with the space station. Let's point this way and see if that helps me. There we go. Set as target. And then point radial in. That's radial out. All right, let's just keep flipping around. Time acceleration stability system. Okay. And we'll add a maneuver at our closest approach to fix everything at once. So we will adjust our inclination. And get a close approach. Come on. Let's just do that for now, and then I'll figure out the rest of the rendezvous, because it's not showing me what I need to see. Okay, we got signal. I mean, we got, I just say signal and solar panels interchangeably. Let's go. Some blemishes on Minmus there. And the camera is turning because we're going over the pole. changing our inclination, capturing into an orbit, and setting up for a rendezvous orbit all at once. Okay, let's pass the closest approach. Good. Now, add a maneuver here. That will... What? Let's go to... Let's warp here. It's not showing me the indicators that I need, so I think I need to reduce my parallax just a little. Thankfully, we're having good relay coverage because of all the scanning satellites. The scanning satellites sort of double as signal relays. Okay, let's use RCS for this part. Okay. And while I'm here, can I change my inclination? Yes, I can. There we go. There we go. Now we build a maneuver here. There we go. So we'll do a couple of orbits. That's fine. And add. Now, I wonder if we can do this with RCS. Yeah. Because we don't need all that monopropellant, but we do want all of the fuel, so I'm doing the burn with monopropellant instead. I love the little RCS jets. They look so much better now. All right, here we come, space station. And it's loading in. There's our moon lander relay. Oh yeah, that's the thing that crashed. Closest approach in 1 minute. Pretty well pointed at it. Let's start slowing down so that we don't hit it. All right. Okay, let's target that docking node. Bring this up. Control from here. Control from here. Okay, you get to watch another docking. I might speed up this docking. Let's do that. There we go. Okay, fuel delivery complete. And because I went into the settings and turned off the difficulty setting that was keeping me from doing fuel transfers, because I figure we can design crafts so that they're capable of transferring through things if we design them that way, so I think it's fine. So let's get our fuel propellant into the transfer vehicle. Looks like it's not even, looks like we're going to more than fill it up. Fantastic. Good. So then let's consolidate. And then we can also refill the tanks on this lander. Which is going to take a minute. So congested still. Okay, good. We got a little bit extra fuel in there still. We can leave that docked for now. Monopropellant. Out as well, just to refill. Boy, we didn't use much, did we? There we go. Okay, big success. Where are we storing the monopropellant on this craft? Here it is. Out. All right, the tank was a success. Let me check what else is happening. That might be the end. We already did the Eve transfer, so we can delete that. And let's set up the next one. We're going to Eve again in the future. Set up that alarm. Good. Next thing is the Sprite Science Craft. We're going to go to an asteroid. There we go. Yeah, we're going to pass by Kerbin. In 27 days, we're going to get a close approach from this enormous asteroid. So we're going to have a 2,000 kilometer periapse around Kerbin, and it's almost an orbit. We're not going to be able to capture it into an orbit. I didn't build a craft that could do that, but we can swing by with the probe and have a rendezvous. And you know what? I don't think I've ever done that in a career, because I usually have given up by this point. So that'll be very exciting. But anyway, that will be next time. Thank you very much. Have a good week. Bye-bye.